If you are in Joburg, you have less than 2 hours to stock up on water. The planned water outage begins tonight and will continue until Friday. Unhappy residents are already dealing with cold weather and stage 4 power cuts. In fact, Joburg Water says it will provide stationary tankers at critical places like hospitals, clinics and municipal offices. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is out speaking to the public about the planned water outage. He joins me live right now. Aviwe, talk to us about just the prolonged outage in some of the areas. What are we expecting realistically?
Well, William, we're told that from 7 o'clock this evening up until 5 a.m. on Friday is when we're expecting this Rand Water shutdown of water. Of course, that's to give way for them to undergo their maintenance. In fact, I'm one of the water shops just around Johannesburg. For a change, it's an empty water shop, but that's because there's a reason behind that. If you are to ask some of the owners here, they'll tell you that, in fact, they've ran out of water. So what you see here, these empty tanks are actually waiting some 10 or so minutes before the water tanks at the bank can get filled up, and then they'll continue to refill those tankers. So essentially, it's not empty in its essence. It's about 10 or so minutes that the customers have been told just to wait a bit up until the water itself is refilled, and then they can then get their water. This is only the second time this has happened at this water shop. That's because even the first time around, the area, Randburg, had ran out of water. In fact, I just want to get a sense now, William, from some of the customers inside here, just on what are they going to do for the next couple of days, given that from 7 p.m. till Friday, they won't essentially have running water. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. Let me get your insights, sir. What are your plans around water?
Well, look, I came through to just get a bit of some resources here. I've got a couple of bottles here that I was going to fill up, but I'm hoping that it will only be for the 3 days. And essentially, it's really more for drinking water. We filled up the baths. The bottles, we've got every empty bottle we could find in the house, we filled up. And having a family of 4 with 2 kids, it's a little bit problematic having to have them bath quite daily and so forth. So it's going to be very difficult and a bit of a challenge over these next few days.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, but I've been speaking to some of the councillors in the city of Johannesburg, one such that handles the infrastructure side of things. He seems to suggest that this particular maintenance itself may be anything between 4 and 14 days. How will you survive?
That's a bit of a shock. I don't think I'm prepared for 14 days. That's going to be a whoa. I mean, I'm going to have to stock up a whole lot more. And I mean, that's also going to be costly. Now we're going to have to try and travel to Pretoria or somewhere else to try and get water. It's a little bit a bit of a big inconvenience. They've said 3 days to us, and I hope they stick to the 3 days. If it's anything longer than that, I can imagine there'll be a whole lot more of a panic taking place, especially around here in Joburg.
And indeed, that was the official communique from Rand Water that suggested that it is going to be from 7 p.m. this evening. That's on the Tuesday till 5 o'clock Friday morning. But the suggestion is it may be longer. Ma'am, let me come to you. Let me get your insight. Just maybe for the next number of days on the official communique, how will you survive? What are your plans around the water usage?
Like the gentleman just told you, we filled the pots up, we filled bins. Luckily for us, we have a pool, so there's pool water available for the bathrooms. It's just the drinking water that's going to be a hassle.
And there is that bit of a disappointment in terms of the conversations that I've been having that suggests that it may last, in fact, the shutdown itself, anything between 4 and 14 days. How will you survive that?
We'd probably have to go out of the area to go get water from people that do have water, which is also going to be an initial cost. I mean, they've increased the rates for electricity, water, and yet now we have to go out to purchase water.
Okay, let's hope it doesn't get to that 4 to 14 days that the councillor, in fact, that councillor was Imran Musa, that I had a conversation with a bit earlier on. They have measures in place. They tell us that there'll be tankers crisscrossing the breadth and width of Johannesburg. But of course, those special need areas such as clinics, hospitals, the police stations and schools will have stationary tankers there. Let's just listen on that conversation that I had a bit earlier on with the councillor that handles the infrastructure things, that says that it could be a lengthy wait for this particular shutdown.
We also have several trucks roaming around in Lenasia for old residents, etc., where we can provide water and make it convenient and easy for residents in Lenasia to ensure that they have water. So, I'm sure that this will ease the burden of, provision of water in the circumstances that we're faced with, especially for a prolonged period that we're expecting. So the period actually is anything between 4 days and 14 days, actually. Because, in circumstances when you're replacing these type of pipings that has never been replaced in the city of Johannesburg for such a long period of time, we can expect, delays with regards to this piping.
Aviwe, we are learning in real time as you speak to some of the people you've spoken to that some people are not aware that Friday may not necessarily be the day that our water returns, as it were. The outage could be longer. What else have residents told you? What sort of feedback have you gotten from them? Are they aware that it could go possibly beyond Friday?
Well, not at all, because the official communique that we have from Rand Water suggests that the shutdown itself is from 7 p.m. This evening up until 5 a.m. Friday morning. So that's the official word that we've got. A lot of residents are unaware of this fact. In fact, myself, I came to that awareness of it all when I was having that conversation with the councillor that handles the infrastructure side of things. He wanted to be open and frank with the residents, not leaving them hanging in terms of what they can expect with this particular shutdown. But the reality is also in these water shops is that they're running out of water. Here, they are now refilling the water. As you can see, the shop is empty, but a lot of customers are still queued up even outside. There are bottles inside the shop here, waiting, in fact, to refill, because just under 2 hours' time is when the official shutdown is to take place. But others that we were in the early hours of the morning, they were already running out of water completely. They said that they won't be able to provide for those customers, so they were looking to shut down their doors any minute. In fact, William, I want you to have a listen to earlier conversations that I had with even some frustrated residents when they found out that the shutdown itself could be anything between 4 and 14 days. Let's take a listen to that.
We have plan B for drinking. I have got some more at home. We have to make do.
We've got to make a plan and carry on. We've got no option. We can jump, we can scream, nothing happens. It all depends on this, on the citizen of South Africa, who they vote and who would not vote. Everybody is saying this and that. So the bottom line, it boils down to central government. If the central government is corrupted, the whole system is corrupted.
Always use still water because the quality of the water is deteriorating. And now with the closure coming up, I think we have to be prepared. We're trying to get as much water, drinking water especially, for the next couple of days.
We have to follow our pots, everything up. There's nothing we can do. That's the way this country is going.
And what happens if it doesn't come back on Friday as promised, and it comes back 14 days later as the suggestion from Johannesburg?
Well, they need to put contingency plans into place. They need to get water trucks out. People need to, they must think of the people that are disabled, people that are old, what's going to happen to them.
A big thank you there to our senior reporter, Aviwe Mtila.